Hello, everyone, and welcome to another amazing, epic interview with another amazing, epic human who is Joanna James. Welcome, Joanna.
Thank you, Karen. Wonderful to be here. I know Lady Diversity is finally here.
Yay! We want all the selfies when it arrives with everybody. Lady Diversity Power is a book with so many amazing, phenomenal industry leaders in it. And you, well, I know you from so many things as also being your publisher, but you run and lead the Successful Woman as well, don't you?
Yes, we do.
As well as many other things. Can you tell everyone a bit about what you do?
Yeah, well, look, I came through the finance industry, so my main reputation was in the mortgage space and as an industry leader, for the non-bank lending mortgage management space. But these days, I'm the chief ambassador for the Successful Woman, so I'm really championing the cause for women in business all around the world. And it's been a phenomenal journey. Who would think, stepping out at 50 and having a complete life change? But that's what I've been called to do. So I'm really enjoying it.
Oh, and you're also called into this because this book, Lady Diversity Power, those three words are, successful with like how aligned is this? It's just phenomenal. And I love your chapter title. It's one of my favorites in the book. And it says, When the why is clear, the how is easy. Now, think about that. When the why is clear, the how is easy. Can you speak to that for us, please?
Yeah, well, when I first thought about writing the chapter, I really spent some time thinking about what angle to come from, right? Because obviously diversity sounds like a very simple thing to discuss, but actually there's a lot of complexity in diversity when you really look at it. And like most things, for me, I've been spending a lot of time reflecting on my life and what diversity means for me and how I've been able to integrate that and my understanding of that in business. So, why is pretty much everything with whatever you do. When you understand the why, then everything after that becomes easy. But so many of us are so busy with what we do, or we've got a lot of preconceived ideas about why we think we should be doing what we do, or we simply are afraid to really step into that place to claim our why as to who we want to be in life. And that's a huge thing that I see for many people, men and women all around the world. But when you know your why, not to say you won't have challenges, because you will, but how you meet those challenges just becomes so much easier, and finding a way through. And I think the conversation about diversity on the planet is going through really interesting change. Like most things in the planet, everybody knows that we need it. Everybody knows that it's time, but we're falling into the preconceived ideas about what that means, the easy way to describe it. And so for me, I really wanted to write about something that was a little bit different about diversity than perhaps the first glance.
Oh, Joanna, I knew we were going to have a good conversation. I love the individual approach to diversity and what does it mean for you? And then it can ripple out from that into everything that you do and have a more of a global impact. Wow. And the preconceived ideas of, like how diversity is portrayed in the media. But that's why conversations like this are important, aren't they, Joanna, to help you think wider and bigger than that.
Yeah, and I think, once something is getting into the main place or the main stage, so to speak, you have to be careful that you are constantly reinvestigating what that topic really needs and that we're not just ticking a box, right? So there's a lot of things that I see where diversity is like, oh yes, we can tick that box, we've covered that, but have they actually brought anything new to expanding that or having that grow? And so that why is that constant pursuit of growth. Yeah, it's that constant pursuit of growth with everything that you do. And so where we were discussing diversity now is going to be different to where it will be in a year and different again in another 5 years. It's not a one-time thing, right? And so that, I think, was what I was really trying to bring through, was that evolution that we bring to how we think about diversity.
And oh my goodness, there's so many things to unpack there, Joanna. Everything is just like but that is why books like this are important, is because then you can research back to 2022, 23, and this is what diversity meant then, and then to see how it evolves and progresses. And you're right, the conversations have to be progressive, not stagnant, not we tick that box and we've had the conversation. The conversations need to be innovative. You need to be curious. You need to grow. That's what it's about. It's not just about, oh, we've addressed diversity, done, dusted, let's move on to something else that's trending. It's not, it's a constant conversation, and one that has to be balanced and evolve as time goes, as things progress, isn't it? Constantly be curious.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the core of what I wrote about, there's a little bit in the introduction where I talk about actually all the combinations of the different things that you can put together in that first glance of diversity around, gender and religion and countries and languages, and the permutations that can happen out of that make people unique. But from my experience in business, it was really diversity of thinking and diversity of experience.
Yes.
And that's not something that's often talked about when you talk about creating diversity, but it really is very key, and they do go together, because diversity of thinking then creates diversity of experience. And it's those two things that really help shift the dial. And particularly from my experience, in running businesses, they, to me, were the things that made the most significant difference in creating an atmosphere where diversity could live, was the diversity of thinking and the diversity of experience. And, traditionally in a lot of corporate roles and a lot of businesses, people are still quite compartmented, with who they are. They might have, their professional, persona that they wear at work, and then there's somebody completely different outside of that. And they've got experiences in life that are not necessarily relating to their job, but they don't know how to tap into the essence of that. And so diversity is also a way that you can explore yourself. It's also a way that you can collect all of the attributes and the character and, the various skills that you have. And I really wanted to encourage people to just come out of the box and understand that you as a human being, have a variety of experiences that make who you are. And when you're able to harness that in a constructive way with your work, that's when diversity really starts to flower.
I don't need to add anything to this. This conversation is phenomenal. Guys, do you see the experts and industry leaders we have in this book? Just think about that. Go back and watch all of that again and just absorb it and see, whatever resonates. Hazel and I talked about this earlier. Let it ignite something within you and explore it and action it, because you can think, but it's the actions that you follow through with which will make the difference in your life. Joanna James, thank you so much for this conversation, and thank you for showing up and sharing your genius in Lady Diversity Power. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to participate with all the other amazing ladies. And there's such diversity in the book.
That was the whole plan, Joanna. It's a phenomenal book. I'm so proud of it. Guys, if you want to grab a copy of this book, go to www.kmdbooks.com/Lady Diversity Power, and you will be able to see across the world where you can grab a copy at your convenience. And we would love to see the selfies and love to have the reviews and the feedback from you. Let us know what you resonated with, what it has ignited, and what change happens for you by being part of this book. All right, guys, thank you so much, Joanna.
You're so welcome, and enjoy the read.
Bye, everyone.